Earlier this year, I created a movement called Becoming My Healthier Self, which was all about me showing up and becoming my healthier self and inspiring others to do the same, inspiring others to go on the journey of becoming their healthier self. But if you've clicked here, you may see that this is titled Becoming My Best Self. So, what has changed? What has shifted throughout the past 7 months of the year? We're now in August. How crazy is that? So, what I was reflecting on was I don't just want to become my healthier self. I want to become my best self in all areas of my life. And I found myself in a bit of a rut for quite a few months of this year, not feeling myself, feeling a bit lower, not having that momentum or motivation or that fire in my belly that I normally have. And I found myself becoming a bit complacent. I was still doing awesome things. I was still going out there and having beautiful experiences. On my birthday just a week ago, I reflected on all the things I've achieved in my 30th year. I'm now 31, and I still achieved so much and did so much. I'm so proud of the person I became. But I noticed that for the few months before July, I just wasn't fully all in on me, right? So I decided as of August, I am going all in. This is a challenge for 5 months for me to go all in on myself and become my best self and make my life the best that it can be by the end of 2023. Because I know that we are the creators of our reality. And I know that everything I choose to do and the intention I hold behind things and just how I live my life creates what I receive and creates the life that I am leading. So I've decided to, as part of reminding myself of my power and reminding myself that I am the creator, and also showing and inspiring you that you are also the creator and you can create anything that you desire and anything that you dream of if you just show up and you just back yourself and you believe in yourself and you build that self-love and you have the right systems in place. You can do anything you want to do and you can be anyone you want to be, right? So I'm going to document this journey, and that's why I'm here. I'm officially starting my YouTube channel. This will also go on my podcast, The Shana Show. It's currently called The Shana Show. I'm playing with other name ideas. We'll see what happens. Even the title of this challenge that I'm setting myself for the next 5 months, I was spending time being like, what do I want to call this? Should I call it the All In Challenge? I've seen people do like a no plan B challenge. I wasn't sure what to call it, but then I realized, like with so many things we tend to do in life, we can overthink them. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter what I call this, because this is a challenge for me to just go all in and become obsessed with becoming the best version of me. And that's where I got the idea of becoming my best self, which was so in line with the movement I started at the start of the year that I started and gained great momentum with, and then I kind of didn't stick with it. And I think I know why now. I think it's because I had to go through that lull and I had to get myself back into this position where I'm like, no, you know what? That's not what we're doing anymore. I am the creator here. So what am I going to do? How am I going to choose to live each day so that I can be the best version of me and so that I can live the life of my dreams and create everything that my heart desires, because it's all within our control, right? We can influence what we create. We can influence everything around us. And for anyone who knows me, you'll know how passionate I am about the belief work and the subconscious work and the mindset work. And I'm sure throughout this challenge, as I jump on and update you guys along the way, I'll be talking a lot about the mindset behind it and the things I'm doing, beliefs I'm shifting, shadows I'm uncovering, whatever it may be. But I really do believe, and it's seen to be true, that our beliefs create our reality. And I'm really going to step more into this energy and be like, hold on, okay, what are the current beliefs I'm holding? And how can I optimize those beliefs? And how can I create new empowering beliefs and get rid of any of those lingering limiting beliefs that I may not have caught yet, and just go all in and create what I desire? So I want to document it and share it with you to inspire you to do the same. And there's a few things that I'm doing to optimize this and help set myself up for success. So being such like a behavioral change and habit creation nerd, I'm like well versed in all of this stuff when it comes to how do we actually create sustainable change in our life? What do we actually do? And there's many things that contribute to this. And this is what I teach in my business. This is what I teach or taught through Habitually Healthy. It's what I teach through Radiance. It's what I teach in any of my containers, whether it's one-on-one, group, or self-paced. It always comes back to helping ourselves optimize and change our behavior from that subconscious level, from that deeper layer, than just trying to change everything in our external. Because our internal reflects our external. So if we really want to make sustainable change, we've got to go internal first. And some of the things that I'm doing to help myself optimize this journey and really set myself up for success is to really implement and embody the healthy habits that I preach. So there are 5 healthy habits that I say are like the core foundation to leading a healthy life. And yes, there are many other things that can influence our health and can impact our health. And it does go deeper than these 5 daily core habits. But if we nail these 5 habits, this is where we will start to see really big changes, especially depending where we currently are with those habits. So to briefly summarize, those habits are eating nutritious food, which is real food. So it's really simple. It's coming back to the basics. It's unlearning a lot of the nonsense that diet culture and all sorts of like the overwhelming information out there on the internet, just unconditioning ourselves from that, unlearning a lot of that, and coming back to just eating real food the way that we were designed to eat. So that's healthy habit number 1. Then we've got optimal hydration. So making sure we are getting adequate water for our personal needs. Really, really important. Also drinking filtered water, really important element of that. Then we've got daily movement. So daily movement is moving our body in some way every day. Our bodies were designed to move. We have become so sedentary and it's not good for our health. So if we can move our body every day, we're going to feel so much better mentally, physically, we're going to be fitter and stronger. It's just so good for us all around. Then we've got sleep, restful sleep, and getting enough sleep, right? This one is so overlooked, but it's so, so important. Getting between 7 to 9 hours, I'm going to say, because often we're not sleeping the entire time that we are in bed. So even if we're in bed for the standard 8 hours, we might not actually be sleeping for that 8 hours. And different bodies need different amounts of sleep. You can actually determine how much sleep you need, but I generally say it's between 7 to 9 hours that we want to be sleeping each night of good quality, restful sleep, not too late in the night either. The earlier, the better. So that's another one of the habits. And then we've got self-care, which ultimately is just what I call stress reduction and nervous system support. So doing things that are going to help to regulate our nervous system, help us relax, because we are living in a society that is so stressed, so burnt out, so fatigued. And ultimately, when we can reduce our stress, we are optimizing our health from like a really deep level. And it's so important to relax more and stress less for all of the other areas of our health. So these habits all actually play into each other. And I really believe it's so important that we are making our nervous system and our relaxation a priority and really helping to regulate the nervous system and the emotional body and just be more relaxed and stress less. And that's obviously a lot easier said than done, but there's many things I teach in general about that. This video isn't going into those. Might do another video specifically on that topic. But they're kind of like the 5 core healthy habits that I generally embody that I'm going to make sure I'm really implementing. Now, because I know so much about behavior change and because I know that it doesn't work when we try to go all in on something, depending where we are, we can't jump too much at one time. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be scary. We're going to go back to our old habits. When we are building new habits, we want to do so slowly. We want to break it down. We want to do one thing at a time. We want to make small changes. And as we get used to that change, then we add more on. So for me, I already have a pretty solid diet. As a nutritionist, this is something I've been working on for years. So I know I'm pretty much nailing the nutritious food side of things. Maybe I have a bit more chocolate than I like. I'm not going to use the word should, but maybe I have a bit more chocolate than I need. So that could be something I want to improve on or refine. But I know in general, the food side of it for me is pretty solid. Sleep can also be really good. It just kind of depends on my timing getting to bed. Hydration, hit and miss. So that's something I'm really going to be working on. I do have a good like standard level of hydration, but I could be having more, and I'm going to choose to have more to make sure I am well hydrated and incorporating salt in my water and little things like that. And I will say good quality salt, not table salt, definitely not table salt. Celtic sea salt or Himalayan rock salt are the salts of choice when adding it to your water. So I'm going to be doing things like that. Movement. So I love my daily walk, but how can I ramp that up? How can I get more into strength training? Or how can I do a bit more high intensity interval training? Or how can I do a bit more Pilates or yoga and stretching, whatever it may be? How can I branch out and do a little bit more there? And then in terms of relaxation, being consistent with things like meditation or breath work or whatever my chosen form of self-care is at one time. Now, like I said, I'm not just going to go be like, cool, it's August. I've started my Becoming My Best Self challenge and I'm going all in on all of those. I know that's not going to work, right? So what I'm doing is I'm focusing on one thing at a time. And what I'm choosing to focus on for this entire 5-month journey, so starting from the start of August, is my wake up time. So sleep is going to be the first thing I start with. And my wake up time I'm choosing is going to be 6 a.m. And I'm going to do this every day for the next 5 months to the best of my ability so that I can really start my day well, because the way that we start our day really sets the tone for the rest of our day. And what I've noticed, those mornings where I sleep in or where I snooze my alarm or where I lay in bed and scroll, I feel so much worse than the days that I get up and get out of bed and do something that feels good. Like, for example, a workout first thing. I always feel so much better. So that is something I'm committing to. And yes, the workout and the consistency in the workout is going to come in with time. And by the end of the year, 100% we'll be hitting that. But I'm also going to know that I don't have to stick to that right away, because right now I'm starting with one small change, which is the wake up time. So even if I wake up and I get out of bed and I go sit on the couch, dazed and confused and stare at the wall, I'm still creating that habit of getting up at 6 a.m. And then once I've nailed the 6 a.m. habit, I can introduce another habit, right? We don't want to go too crazy with it. And chances are I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and I'm going to do my workout, and then I'm going to go into my other habits, and it's going to be habit stacking. And before I know it, I've done all the things I wanted to do, all 5 of my healthy habits before 9 a.m. And that's what's been happening so far. But I'm also not putting that kind of pressure on myself, because I know the way our brains work and I know the way that our bodies function as well. And when we change too much too quickly, it can feel really overwhelming for our mind and our nervous system, and we can just relapse back into old patterns. So the one thing I'm 100% sticking to is my wake up time, and the rest will just build upon that. So that's something that I'm starting with. And like I said, I'm going to be documenting my progress along the way, documenting the changes I'm making, the things I'm noticing. And in all of this, through my experience, you will also see all of the lessons, and you'll also be able to implement that and change that. So I invite you to join me on this challenge. I invite you to be the creator of your reality, and I invite you to become your best self if you desire to, because it's all well and good for us to say we want certain things, or we want to achieve big things, or do this or do that, or experience that before we die, all of that. But we're the ones that get to create that for ourselves. And sitting there just wanting to do those things isn't actually creating them. So when we actually get in the driver's seat, and I'm not saying we have to be in control of everything, because we can never be in control, and we don't want to be in that place where we feel like we have to control our whole life, because there's no fun in that. And there's also so much beauty in the surrender and the flow and the trusting and seeing what comes our way as well. But when we can really just be all in on ourselves and really be looking after ourselves from that health perspective, because health is wealth and health is the foundation of everything else. Without our health, we don't have a lot, because when we get sick, we notice how important our health is, right? So why not look after our health day to day and just help ourselves feel as amazing as we deserve to feel, so that we can create anything else in our life that we desire to create. And that is why what I'm focusing on, rather than having an external goal or an outcome goal, I'm focusing on the habits, because I know by working on the human behind the things that I desire, that's where the biggest change is going to come from. Because as I change the way I act, and then change the way that I show up in the world, and I change those beliefs, and as I up-level my health, I know the other things are going to come as well. And yes, I'm going to have plans for other things I want to do and achieve, and the way I want to be. But I really believe in focusing primarily on our health, because that will ripple into the other things. So I've set up a Notion board to help myself keep track of this over the next 5 months. I've got a habit tracker section, I've got a journal section, I've got monthly reflection sections, where I'm really going to be monitoring how I'm going with this and helping to keep myself on top of it and accountable, and creating a plan, because preparing ourselves and planning is actually one of the best ways for us to succeed. When we're going in blind and we don't really know what we're doing, it takes so much longer and we can get lost along the way. So I've created like this roadmap for myself to set myself up for success. And I'm going to be using things like time blocking in my calendar, scheduling things in, making sure that I actually have a plan, and that in return will help me succeed. Something else I want to say about this challenge before I wrap up is that I'm doing this from a place of not feeling the need to change myself or being like, oh, I need to become my best self because I don't like who I am right now. I'm solid in who I am and I love my life and I have a beautiful life and I'm really happy with who I am as a person and what I have currently created for myself. And from that place, I also know that I can do more and I deserve more, and I can go out and create that, and I can be my own experiment and see what happens in the next 5 months and see how much better it gets to be, right? Like I already have amazing relationship, amazing friends, a beautiful family. I've got an amazing apartment that I love living in. I do the work that I love in my business, and I'm so grateful to show up and serve those who choose to work with me. There's so much that I already have that's amazing in my life. But also, why not have some fun and see how it can get even better, and see how, as I continue to up level myself at the core, at like the identity level, and become that best version of me, which I know will always evolve for the rest of my life. It's not like I will arrive on December 31st and be like, this is the best it gets. I know that I will continuously be evolving and growing throughout my entire life. But I thought this would be a really fun experiment just to see what I can create in the next 5 months and to take you along for the journey. Because like I said, it's all well and good to say we want things, but we get to go out there and create them and take the action as well, which will draw that to us and become the versions of us that magnetize those things that we want into our life. So consider this a giant experiment that I'm doing for me, and also to show you what is possible and to inspire you and invite you to do the same, to help you become your healthier self and help you become your best self, because you also deserve this and you also deserve a life that you love, and to feel really solid within yourself and love yourself and be able to go after everything that your heart desires. So I'm going to leave it there for today. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I'm going to be creating regular content to update you along this journey. I'm not committing to anything like weekly or fortnightly. I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to aim for weekly, but we will see what happens. This is something I'm doing from pleasure, not pressure. So I'm not going to put deadlines or like add pressure to this. I'm just going to have fun with it. And if you're listening on the podcast, then same thing, subscribe, leave me a review. I would love to hear from you if you have watched this and you're excited about this journey and you want to join me on this journey, or you're curious to see what I create over the next 5 months. So feel free to DM me at Shana Sapi, or comment on this YouTube video, or if you're on the podcast, send me an email, whatever it may be. I would love to hear from you. And I look forward to sharing this journey with you over the next 5 months. And one thing I'm really committing to is showing up imperfectly, knowing that I don't have to have the perfect software or have like everything scripted out, or that I don't have to be showing up when I'm only feeling happy and excited and like motivated. I'm also going to be showing up with the rawness and the realness and the vulnerability, because that is life. Life is not all sunshine and rainbows, and we're not always feeling amazing, but that's okay. That's all part of the journey. And being able to navigate that and be able to share that and being able to inspire others through that, I think is so beneficial as well. So you'll be seeing it all as much as I choose to share, but I do plan on sharing lots of behind the scenes so that you can really get an insight into the next 5 months and how to become the best version of you, just like I am becoming the best version of me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to next time.